Welcome to today's gardening show.
Hey guys, what are we doing tonight? Well,
we're doing the chains.
Yeah, actually, what we're doing, we're expanding our grow lights downstairs. I bought 2 more shop lights. Yay. And so what we were doing, yeah, let's put that down. We're going to zoom in over here. What we're doing is we're just making our chain segments. I bought a little box of chain link. It's 20 foot long, comes in a big segment, and all I did was simply lay out our measuring tape here. Careful, sis. And then we just stretched out 4 foot of chain link at once, because it's 4 foot is all I really needed. Well, there's Emma. Stretched out 4 foot. Once I got to 4 foot, I took our handy dandy pliers here
and cut them.
And just bent out one of the link where I wanted to make the separation and take the chain apart. Oopsie. And then bent it back. So anyway, we're finished with that. We got 4 chain links here.
Daddy, they're not equal.
I know that one's not. That's extra that we don't need. So our next step now that we've got the chain link is to mount it down in the basement.
Can we go down in the basement?
We'll see what we can do. Just finished a little upgrade on my grow lights. Instead of 2 shop lights, I have a total of 4. Ended up buying a 3 foot piece of steel. Cut it in 9-inch segments and drilled holes about 1 inch in each piece. And on each of these lights I went about 1 foot in. And when I lined up the holes, I took some machine screws and drilled them in to the lights to provide stability. I mean, the lights still kind of, I can move them this way, but as far as up and down, they're locked together. And I can take this apart if I want to, but anyway, this is the setup. Also simplified my chain system. What I did for that was I took a 1 inch or 1 foot length of chain and put it on these clips on each side, and then the chain that I have coming down from the eye hook here, just simply wrapped around, and I, with a pair of pliers, bent open the last link so it's like a hook. And so now, I've got it rigged to where at the lowest point it'd basically be touching the trays, and then I can raise this all the way up. As I want to raise it up, I just simply unhook the chain and pull it up, adjust accordingly, and then hook it in where I want it to be on each side. And I think it's going to work out really well. Speaking of working out really well, my onions are doing great. As you recall, in the last video I started them out with kids' help in a tray like this, just in a bed of growing medium here. Once they sprouted and they were a couple inches tall, I just took an icing knife that I borrowed from my wife and nudged the onions out. Laid them out on my table here in clusters, and then just took a handful and put them in my potting soil here. And then I've got it rigged so I can bottom water it. I'm going to let these dry out a little bit. They're pretty saturated right now at this point, but onions like moist soil. In a day or two I'll add some more water to this. So it comes up about a ½ inch on these containers. If you put too much water in here and they become waterlogged, basically deprive the roots of oxygen, and it can be bad for the plants. So you want to make sure you don't overwater when you're bottom watering. Or if you do overwater, that you take these out, maybe put them in another tray for a day or two so the soil will dry out a little bit and some oxygen can get in there in the roots. They don't become so waterlogged. In a little bit I'll be, maybe another week or so, I'll take some scissors and snip the tops of these onion clusters to stimulate some growth. I started these about 3 weeks ago. Checking on the celery. Celery is off to a decent start. I've got a lot of little sprouts in here. I wasn't real particular on my seeds. I just made rows and then kind of sprinkled the seeds in. Whichever ones do the best are the ones I'll keep. But for now, I just leave them in here until I'm ready to transplant them. I haven't got my heat mat yet, so I'm making do with and this is probably not kosher, but a heating pad that you would use for your back. I've got it on low, and that seems to do the trick to stimulate the growth, or get the soil temperature where I want it, to where these will sprout faster or germinate. So that's kind of where we're at so far. I'm looking forward to the year. I just finished tonight in this tray planting my broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi, and cabbage. I did a row of each one to start. And I don't know, maybe in a couple weeks I'll start some more, but we'll see how this turns out. Pretty excited. So I guess that's it for now.